Wouldn't it be awesome if you could know what the top trends are of viewers that are watching things on YouTube, like what the things are in those videos that are causing them to stay engaged? If you said yes to that, we have exciting news because YouTube has just released a 2018 study on exactly the top, I think, 3 behaviors that they saw drive viewer engagement in 2018. I've got Daniel Hall with me. What's up, Daniel?
Hey, this is fresh off the presses.
Yep, you
the
may
digital
see,
presses.
May see we have our phones close by.
So we're going to
we
reference
may
those.
reference that a little bit.
But YouTube claims that they get over 1 billion views a day, and that it means billions of hours of videos watched every day.
It's crazy.
Which is insane.
How is anything getting done?
That's right.
What are you doing right now, person watching this? You should go get some work done.
I guess we're a part of that.
I know.
But
part of the problem.
That means a lot of data. And with a lot of data comes a lot of
responsibility.
information.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of information about behavior of viewer behavior.
Yeah, totally.
And I think based on what we see with the study, there's a lot of implications for ministries.
Oh, great.
So I think this is going to be a cool video. So we're going to cheat, but we're gonna make it through these 3 points.
We are going to cheat, except that you and I have absolutely not had this conversation already.
That's right.
So this is kind of fun. Usually we've at least had some banter back and forth of thinking about this. So we're going to process this out loud together on this one. So, all right, well, let's go to the first point, the first behavior.
Yes.
And that is going back to basics. And 70%, and this is a number we're going to kind of see a trend on, just to kind of give a spoiler
it's an interesting
alert.
trend.
Yeah, so I'll let you take over because I just knew that because those words were really big.
Yeah, and this is actually over 70%, and this is an increase over the last 12 months. But it's an increase in watch time for videos related to quote-unquote relaxing over the last 12 months. So, YouTube's explanation for that is that life is hectic. Things in America, at least, continue to be interesting with politics.
So just sit back and relax.
So here you are relaxing. So
take this video. Just maybe a little quieter.
Yeah, we're a real relaxing video. We're not going to add to that algorithm. But I think they're saying that people are going to YouTube to look for an escape. Essentially,
they're stressed out. They're
Yes,
feeling tense and overdone and everything in their life. Of course, they're looking for something. What's intriguing to me is I wonder if that means, are they actually searching for videos that have the word relaxing in it, or have they done a deeper algorithm and they've said, this is what they would call as a genre relaxing videos? I don't think that they gave a lot of clarity in that study.
No, it was that quote unquote relaxing. So somehow they decided to qualify what is relaxing. And I think some of that's probably YouTube videos about, like, with the music,
sure,
like a subtle music video, or there's this new oh man, I wish I had it. There's this new, like, relaxing thing with, it's kind of like white noise, or like whispering. Have you seen these?
Oh no, that sounds creepy.
It is creepy, but there's like a SRMS or something sensory. But it's all about relaxing and trying to find a deeper state of sleep.
Which I totally get, and I could see how that's some of it. But I'm wondering, is there also stuff that's like video games? Like, are they everybody that's playing a video game and they're watching that person game on there? Is that something that they would classify as relaxing? Because it's entertainment.
The study does say that there's a rise in videos about minimalist lifestyles.
Okay.
So maybe that's kind of trying to get, maybe relaxing includes being kind of zen,
Yeah.
Or there's this minimalist. I know some of our coworkers, they like to watch this guy go into the forest and, like, there's no, he doesn't talk to anybody. There's no music. And he just makes things out of mud.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, he's made a hot tub and like a cabana and all this stuff out of mud. Somehow that's, I think, in the relaxing category.
Right.
But how interesting that people are finding this escape. They're experiencing anxiety, so they're going to YouTube looking for relaxing topics that are kind of alternative lifestyles outside of this chaotic experience.
Well, and I think that's the whole, like, tiny house movement. We see these, like, which just, obviously is, I'm going to state my opinion. It's obviously a terrible idea. Like, closets are good. Like, having a place to store something is actually a good thing. And I get it. Like, we all have a lot of stuff. But, what you see now, surely we're going to have another set of videos that are going to come out in 4 years. Like, dude, I have a house that has 4 closets. You know, like I've been able to store.
Well, I know a young family who they're just about to have their first kid, and they've moved out of their tiny house. It's like, yeah. I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
But you know, it's about lifestyle, and I think the study points out that brands, and I think this is where ministries can really start to pay attention.
Okay.
Like, so what does this mean?
Yeah.
YouTube suggests that what brands can take away from this, and I'll kind of quote it a little bit. I think we made a couple slides about it too.
Yeah.
But is that we can pull from it that we have a generation that's coming up of consumers that's valuing experiences over possessions. So they're looking more for that. Again, the guy going out and simplifying his life, making a hut out of mud.
Right.
That experience
Yep.
over this idea of consumption.
Oh,
just
totally.
Needless consumption. And that the tiny house movement and all that stuff.
Well, and I think it's interesting because you and I both travel quite a bit. And it is funny to, my wife will kind of say, like, you always mention traveling when you're talking to like younger people or whatever. And it's like, oh, I think it's because they really resonate with like, oh, you've like that's something they want to do. It's like they want to have an experience, like, and they're really interested about like, well, what was that country like, and what were their, you know, how hard was it to travel around there, and that's very engaging and compelling to them. Where the older generation also gets it, but it's more like, oh, that's something I understand about your job. Where if I started talking about the technology that we do, it may be kind of like, oh, but it's like, oh, you went on an airplane and went to a place. I can talk to you about that.
More compelling to this generation.
Yeah, but I think the next generation is super interested in like, what was that experience like? How did that? Oh, and like we have some neighbors that are younger, and they're super focused on spending all of their money traveling somewhere and experiencing something. And they live super minimal, and they don't have a lot of extra possessions. And so it's interesting. Yeah.
And then our next slide, it's pretty similar. It may even seem redundant, but it says lifestyle over products, which again could kind of be similar. But as brands, as ministries, and again, we don't want to try to recreate the wheel with this language we're using, but we're a brand as a ministry.
Right.
How can we be showing a lifestyle over the Jesus product? I think is, I think we can step into that language here.
Right.
We're not selling a product. Jesus calls us to a lifestyle.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think this is really the part that should start clicking for ministries, the compelling piece of the study.
Well, and I think if you think about like the prosperity gospel and all of that stuff where it's about stuff, man, you can see why the next generation is, there's always been some polarization around that, of course, but the next generation is like, no, this isn't it at all. And what's interesting is I think I would have said this is primarily an American thing. So it's interesting to see how it's spread world. I mean, because this is all the YouTube data of everything, right? But it is interesting how, I mean, we are blessed, those of us that live in the United States, we have a lot of abundance here. And I think this next generation, most of their parents are very unlike their parents' parents. So their parents' came out of the Depression era, and so they had nothing. And so they really pushed hard to get and obtain, and they bought big houses, and they they had all kinds of stuff to like
multiple cars per family,
right? Because probably as a kid they were like, I'm never going to be like this, I'm going to have money. And so this whole generation kind of really focused on an outward display of like status. But now the new status is like, how many followers do you have on your social media channel, and how many experiences have you had?
Look at Instagram. It's like the experience boasting platform.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What pond between two amazing mountains have I found? Check me out,
Yep. And occasionally it's product too. It's not like product disappeared.
Oh, no, sure.
But yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, and I just had an example that YouTube, again, a lot of this is based on the study, but IKEA, who's a really great marketing brand, they're really good with their brand voice. They have an example that we're going to show where they're already talking about like the relaxing bedroom. Like, we know what you want. We know the organized, so like the minimalism idea.
Yeah, look how clean that is.
Relaxing. So they're really pushing into it and creating, this is an actual video that IKEA put together, this tour. So they're using this YouTube knowledge and data and creating videos based on it. So again, our ministry friends, listen up. like create content based on these findings because this is where the people already are searching.
I love this. And I think there's an antithesis to this also, which is that means people are feeling opposite, right? So we're drawn to the thing that we're currently not, the hole that we currently have is what we're trying to fill.
Yeah.
So that means that, that means someone is struggling with the opposite of relaxing and the opposite of organizing, right?
True.
So that means people have a felt need of man, my life is in chaos. I don't have order around things. Oh my goodness, I feel so stressed. And we've talked about this in some other stuff, but paper calendars have made a comeback, and in the paper calendars they have stickers in like all these cutesy design, and they have all these things that talk about busy, and I think I've done a talk on this before, but how busy is a status symbol, and it's like, oh, I'd love to help you, I'm so busy, and it's like, this is how I can communicate.
So important.
I'm so important, and it's
People
almost
want me.
it's even more than I'm so rich. Because product is getting lower, lifestyle's getting higher, and then this like, well, how can I show status in a world where the stuff and the iconic brand is not really as important? Well, now I have to show it in my busyness. I have to show it in my schedule.
Interesting.
Anyway, and it's stressing everybody out, and so now they need to go on YouTube.
Now we go to YouTube for medicine. So that's
Okay.
our thing one.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thing one, thing two. Behavior one.
Yeah. So behavior 2, searching for inspiration.
And like you said, an interesting trend is, again, 70% of shoppers, people who have gone to YouTube for shopping, say they're also open to learning about products on YouTube from brands. So, in other words, people are going to YouTube to look for, and I do this a lot. I probably put 1 billion into the billions of views about researching products.
Oh, man.
And doing reviews.
I get so obsessive.
Yeah, it's the first place I go.
Sure.
Like right now, my wife and I are looking for baby stuff.
Oh yeah,
we're expecting our first kid.
Yeah.
I can tell I'm an expert right at this very moment because of YouTube on every top tier level baby buggy thing.
That's hilarious.
Because of YouTube, and that's where I went to look for it.
Right.
So
well,
yeah,
because
huge uptick.
Something that's interesting is the written reviews. If we think about Amazon, and it's like, oh, cool, this has an average rating of this many stars, and you read the reviews, and it's like, oh, that's really good. But then they, at some point years ago, they started like, oh, well, let's make it where you can throw a photo in or a video in of this product, and it was funny because like obviously I'm into like camera gear and stuff, and so I would read these reviews like, oh, that is a great lens, but then I'd see like 5 stars in this well-written review, but then I would see their output of whatever they took as a picture, as an example. And it's like, this is not good at all.
Right.
Or, and it's like, oh man, just because they can write about it. So I think what YouTube does is it actually like, I'm going to review this phone or this phone case, and I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to show it to you. And so you get a much rounder experience. So, okay, so all that to say that I think, we all know Google bought YouTube years ago, and the reason is because it's still going to be the number 2 search engine.
That's right.
And it'll stay that because Facebook doesn't even have a clue how to make search do anything other than find someone's name, kind of.
The words dumpster fire were once used to describe Facebook search, and that was a long time ago, and it's still true. It's like terrible.
I mean, they must have literally one guy part-time that works on search.
A junior dev who's
I know, he's like,
can I get some help?
They're like, no. We believe in you, Bob. Make it happen. So, okay. But all that to say that, so how do we like apply that to ministry then?
Well, so it's not just for shopping, but they're saying this category is advice. And what else did they say? Seeking anything from beauty to travel. So where should I go? Where's the best place to go? What's the best way to do certain things? So it's for shopping, but also for advice.
Yeah.
So that's included. I didn't want it to just stay within a product necessarily.
Right. But, yeah, that's probably under YouTube's umbrella where it's a little easier for them to categorize that. But I think it's obvious that we're gonna. I mean, in theory, somebody, all 5 of you that are watching this video or are watching it for advice, right? You're hoping to glean is the word I was trying to use there, glean some kind of knowledge out of this.
That's right. We're in this category right now, I think.
Totally. And so we're hopefully providing some value and advice out of that. So makes tons of sense for sure. So, all right, behavior 3, let's go take a look at that one. And so looking for connection.
Which this is a big one, I think, for ministries.
And first of all, I'm just laughing that the way they did this stat was 7 in 10.
We don't want to say 70%.
I'm not a numbers guy per se, but I'm pretty sure that's also 70%. All right, Gen Zers say watching videos with others helps them feel more connected. So I have this funny thing that's happening, which is when I go to family events, like not my direct family, although sort of that too, but when I go to extended family stuff and we hang out and we're catching up on everything, it's not too long before we've kind of run out of like, and that's what I'm doing in my life. And I think part of the reason we run out of that quicker than it seems like in the past is because at some degree I'm posting on all the social media, whatever it is I'm doing, right? So I don't have to fill in as many gaps, even if I did a big trip or something they may already know all the details about that, right?
You've pre-shared.
So I've run out of stuff to talk about. Dude, I was at, we're doing Christmas shopping. I'm at a chain store and in walks a guy that I know from high school that I haven't seen in a long, long time, decades. And he knows everything about my life. Yeah. And it's like, I haven't talked to you in 25 years.
It's the world now.
And I have nothing to catch you up on because somehow you follow me on whatever and you already knew. So all that to say that imagine intimate family that's super interested in each other, how much they're going to stay in touch. So all that to say that the funny phenomenon is that it's kind of doesn't take too long before it's like, oh, have you guys seen the funny video, the something video?
So people connect over that. That's a big part of this trend.
Yes.
The other part I think that they've talked about is that so much of our world now is everyone walking around with their faces in their phones.
Oh, man.
That we lack. So whether it's you're taking the train to work or you're at a restaurant or in a video that's being recorded.
Hey, I'm sorry. I was just checking some. Yeah, no.
But that's the world that we're living in. So we seek the connection so much that people are this is what's wild. People are going to YouTube to get the connection with someone filming the video to supplement the real life connection and eye contact. That's what YouTube said. That's not something I'm making up right now.
Right.
But isn't that interesting? Going to YouTube for connection.
Okay, but the thing is, like, I've thought about this
and
for a
shared
little bit.
Experience.
Totally. So what is interesting, though, is can some of your best friends be people that don't know you?
Yeah, you're starting to get weird, but I'm with you. I've thought about this.
You know what I'm saying?
Bizarre.
Like, can some people that you totally connect with?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, their sense of humor, everything about them is like they totally get me. Like, this is awesome, but they don't know who I am. But I watch their videos or whatever. Is that a thing? And like, I don't know what that answer is, and I don't know what psychologically that does. But I do think that it's not necessarily new. I think it's just that it's opened up more. So like, if you think about talk radio in the morning, like a morning DJ show, especially here in America, and I would imagine all over the world, but they'll have like the host and they'll do jokes and they'll be it's not just one person like, and next up is this song, right? It's like they're going to talk about whatever they did last night, and the person driving into work or whatever listens to that, and I think they feel at some level like those people are their friends.
I have a confession.
Okay.
John Tesh is one of my best friends.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because right now Christmas music is on the radio.
Okay.
And John Tesh radio show, Intelligence for Your Life. I'm telling you, John and I have the best times.
We have the best times.
Riding around, him just telling me stuff.
And you're telling him, like,
and
John,
I know
great
if we
point.
were to really spend time hanging out, he'd feel the same way about me.
Yeah, sure. But no, I think that's
like,
real.
There's something here, I don't think friendship is probably, maybe that's a little too much to describe this, but there is something, there's a personality, we've talked about this before, but, we are designed to be attracted to personalities and to want to be in relationship.
In community and in relationship. Yeah.
And this is, I think it's what YouTube is describing as what they have found is a Band-Aid on relationships.
Okay, also, though, some other thing, which is... before, if you had some super bizarre hobby that's really rare that no one else got you about, I collect some random thing. I don't know. Yeah. I don't, but I'm saying, like, so
messed up coins.
Sure. Right. Yeah. I only collect coins that have, have been bent.
Defects.
Yeah. The bent coin club. So if that's a thing that's your thing, right, and you get so excited and you can only find them naturally in the wild or whatever, then, you come home and tell your friends and your family, like, look at this quarter that got bent, they're just going to look at you like you're bizarre. But I guarantee you, even though we just made up whatever that is, I bet you if we Googled that right now, there's somebody that has a collection of those that we could look at.
You can get the jacket, Bent Coin Club.
That's hilarious.
It's out there.
That's hilarious. So, but all that to say, like, whatever those niches are, I think that is a big change that's happened universally in the world, which is whatever thing I'm interested in, good or bad,
yes,
I can validate with a group of people that also think this is a good idea. So this is awesome for good ideas, right? This is like, imagine if you're in a world that's predominantly some other religion other than Christianity, and you finally have found out some stuff about Christianity, and now you can go online and you can find a community even though no one around you has that. But if you're a different religion, or maybe you've made up your own religion or whatever, you can still find an audience that would agree with whatever those principles are. And it'll feel very validating, like, well, this is definitely true. Look at all these people that agree with my echo chamber of the things that I think about. But okay, so a long way of saying we're getting community in a place that is 1.5 way direction. It's not really 2-way. I mean,
that's right.
We're talking
at best, really 1.5.
Right, at best. But then there's YouTube comments.
Yes, that's true.
And so they can write a reply. Mm-hmm. You watching this could write a reply, and then we could interact with that in a reply or make another video. It's not exactly the same, but it is a thing on that.
I just think there's so much here in these 3 points for ministries to be thinking about when creating their own content.
Okay.
And if we're going to try to go back and kind of recap this.
Yeah, recap me.
Behavior 1, okay, let's look at it like this. What does the data tell us about the consumers? Tell us about the seekers, the people out there we're making content for.
Right.
Number 1, let's go back. Number 1.
To that first compelling point.
It's going back to basics.
Yep.
The world's stressed out.
Right.
People are feeling the anxiety.
Yes.
So
much.
What are we going to do about it as ministries? We can. Well, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it.
I thought you were like, we can.
The IKEA example.
Can y'all just wait a second?
Like very on point in the messaging. I think that's what I was trying to think. The messaging of it can speak to that felt need, right?
Yeah.
That's the key here. I think it's a very felt need through SEO and through keywords, and now we've talked about in some of the other Echo Conversations videos how to use YouTube search to really dial in.
Sure.
What's the felt need? What are people searching for?
Right.
Chaos, anxiety, whatever the season is, or relevant, timely content. So that's the first big point, behavior. And then also the second one being searching for inspiration.
Inspiration.
How can we be doing that with ministries? You want to bring in on this?
Well, I think it's just I think it's as simple as, in theory, we have as a core product a key descriptor is inspiration, right? So hopefully at the end of the day, it's like our story is something to the effect of you are loved. You are made in the image of God, and the God of the universe, wants a personal relationship with you. This is the most inspirational thing that we can have, right? And you're meant for more than you understand, right?
Yeah.
And you're more than just this world. So,
there's no more better hope or inspiration out there.
Right.
Like, so don't hide that.
Right.
I think a lot of times we try to make it cooler, and we miss the mark when it's like the truth is really attractive.
Yeah, sure it is.
And,
sure. And that last is connection, right?
Yep.
So when we think about connection, it's like, if you think about what the church is doing, this inspiration and connection especially, it's like these are the things we should be doing. And so obviously, I think the connection one, if we're talking Echo Conversations,
I was hoping you'd go there.
This is the deal, right? We're putting tons of energy into thinking through how can we create a connection between two strangers to help somebody down their felt needs, the things that they're feeling and experiencing, the hole in their heart. How can we help them through that process and equip them to learn more about Christ? duh. Like this is the thing that we should be doing.
Yeah.
We should be offering the best connectedness. And I think, to brag on our ministries that we work with, I think in many ways they're leading the entire world in this category because they have people that are interacting with another person and building a relational conversation. And sometimes we don't want that from business. Sometimes I just want solve my problem.
Yeah, sure.
But solve my problem and understand me and my problem and then solve it. I think that's really powerful, and care enough to check back up with us. That seems pretty amazing. So all that to say, this connectedness, we've never been more connected and we've never been more alone.
Yeah.
And so that's the dichotomy that everyone's living in right now. They've never felt more isolated and yet available and connected to everybody at the same time. That is a weird human state that psychologists have just never had us. We don't know how to deal with this really.
Yeah, since we've been humans.
Right.
We haven't
We've never had
experienced
infinite connectivity. I've never been able to just go boop and push a button and then instantly everybody it does.
Weird.
That's just my phone. I don't know. It's the new update. Boop boop beep. But and then how can I just do a thing and then it multiplies out and then I get used to a level of reaction, and if I don't get that level of reaction, then I start going, well, is that me? Was that not interesting? Am I not interesting anymore? So yeah, that connectedness we're dying for connectedness, and the next generation especially, they don't know how to talk on the phone. They don't know they're terrified of that. They'll do anything but call somebody on a phone.
I feel it, and I'm not even the part of the younger generation.
Right. It's just like, well, I'll text, and it's like, that's fine, and that is efficient, but we're missing a communal aspect. We're missing a relational aspect, and we're making everything transactional.
Yeah.
And so that's probably a whole other video, but something about when we turn every interaction into a transaction, I think that's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I think we're seeing the effects of what happens when we do that. Okay.
So let's say a ministry's out there watching this and they want to get deeper into some kind of software that helps connect people.
Can't think of any real.
Maybe you could wrap us up.
Yeah,
with,
sure. Well, I would just say,
yeah,
sure. Well, I'll talk. I'll quit talking to you then. And I would just say, if this stuff is interesting to you, and you are a ministry, and you're making content on YouTube, you're making content on Facebook, and you want to have a simpler way to manage all those interactions in one place, we would love to talk to you. We've been building exactly that tool for you, a tool that's focused on all conversations across all those different types, whether it's texting or phone calls or emails or chats or social media, putting it all in one place so that you can not only manage all those conversations, but you can run awesome reporting. We have amazing reporting. If you're like, I wonder what we're actually doing as a ministry, man, 2 minutes on Echo and you're going to totally know exactly what's happening. So if you're looking for ability to have all your conversations in one place, even if it's just one channel, maybe it's just Facebook, but you just need a way of tracking, are your volunteers or your staff doing what you want to have? We have all of that built into Echo. If you're looking at reporting and wanting to know click, what am I doing? A daily email that comes to me that just shows me exactly what my ministry has done the night before. We have all of this baked into Echo. Every single feature we've built in Echo has been built because a ministry told us that they needed us to do it. So that's been the way we've done that. If that's interesting to you, go to echoglobal.org, click on contact, and send us a message there. We would love to talk to you. echoglobal.org. Thanks for watching.
If you found this video helpful, share it with a friend. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that bell so you're notified for all of our future releases. Also, find and like us on Facebook. And we have a bunch of free resources for you at echoglobal.org/resources.